Attention! I need a hard-working tractor in the 90 to 125 PTO horsepower range. A tractor I can count on to handle some very important jobs around here, so listen up. Now, I'm talking about getting into the field in all kinds of soil conditions. So I want all you tractors available in four-wheel drive with front and rear differential lock to step forward. And I'm talking about working under a wide range of speeds and loads. So I want all you tractors with at least 16 forward speeds to take another giant step forward. Now we're going to be doing some heavy work, so those hydraulics are essential. That's why I want all of you tractors with at least 7,000 pounds of standard lift capacity to take another giant step forward. And how about an easy shifting synchromesh transmission? How about dependable, fuel-efficient Perkins engines? How about the precision and convenience of electronic three-point control? Well, the rest of you tractors can head back to the shed. Massey Ferguson. It looks like this is the brand for me. When it comes to hard-working tractors in that 90 to 125 PTO horsepower range, it's next to impossible to beat the big 3500 series tractors from Massey Ferguson. Take a good look at the MF 3505 at 90 PTO horsepower, or the rugged MF 3525 at 105 PTO horsepower, or put yourself behind the wheel of the mighty MF 3545 at 125 PTO horsepower. Whichever model you choose, you're buying a tractor that leaves the competition behind, because no other tractors in this range deliver the precision and convenience of electronic three-point control. No other tractors in this range can provide as much lift capacity as our 3500s. Only Massey Ferguson provides a standard synchromesh transmission with forward and reverse shuttle, hydraulically operated front and rear differential locks on four-wheel drive models, and more. And you can control these powerful advantages from one of the roomiest, most comfortable cabs in the industry, with more than 50 square feet of tinted glass for terrific visibility. When you look at the competition, the 3500 series advantages become even more obvious. You see, the incredible technology built into every Massey Ferguson 3500 series tractor is designed to increase your productivity. And in field demonstrations across the country, farmers were amazed at their ease of operation and rock-steady performance. We think you will be too. The 3500 series tractors from Massey Ferguson. They're in a class by themselves. When you're talking about 90 to 125 PTO horsepower tractors today, you're talking about tractors that have to be ready to do it all, from materials handling and other chores around the farm to primary tillage work in the field. That's because today's farmers demand tractors that are designed to handle a lot more work, to put heavier tools to the ground, and to work faster and more efficiently than ever before. Now, in this range, we'll be comparing our Massey Ferguson 3500 series tractors with John Deere's 4050 and 4250, International Harvester's 3288 and 3688, Case's 2094 and 2294, Ford's TW5 and TW15, White's 288 and 2110, and Alice Chalmers' 8010 and 8030. But as you're about to discover, there's really no comparison. When it comes to working power, working precision, working efficiency, and working comfort, Massey's 3500 series tractors are in a class by themselves. That's because all the features you're looking for are built right in. And we provide a variety of options on the 3500 series models, so you can literally tailor the machine to your individual farming needs, no matter which horsepower range you're looking for. The important differences between our 3500 series tractors and the competition begin right here under the hood. Every Massey Ferguson 3500 series tractor features one of the most dependable diesel engines in the world, manufactured by Perkins and proven time and again for reliability, economy, and pure lugging ability. These Perkins engines are so highly respected, they're even used by one of our competitors. There's a big 6-cylinder Perkins 354 cubic inch engine in the MF3505, a 354 plus turbo in the MF3525, and a 354 turbocharged cooled system in the MF3545. Across the board, these long-stroke engines produce more torque than John Deere. And when it comes to putting that power to the ground, Massey Ferguson's transmission in either a 2- or 4-wheel drive configuration really shines. Case provides fewer speed selections. International Harvester offers 8 or 16 speeds. While other tractors in this range feature at least 16 forward speeds, only Massey Ferguson provides them through a Synchromesh shift-on-the-move transmission. It provides much smoother shifting than Allis-Chalmers' constant mesh transmission, an International Harvester sliding gear, and less manual shifting than the partial synchro on John Deere. Try it yourself and see what we mean. And while you're trying it out, be sure to check out our superior forward-reverse shuttle. It gives you a reverse selection in nearly all forward work ranges for less shifting and faster, simpler operation. This is a feature that really comes in handy in loader work or when maneuvering around the yard. And none of the competition can match it. At Massey, we make sure you have the right working gears for every job. That's why we provide a full 8 working speeds from 2.5 to 7.5 miles per hour, your prime tillage operating range. One more important gear than Allis-Chalmers, Case, Deere, Ford, and International Harvester. And when those fields are a little soft, you'll appreciate the power and convenience of the 3500 series 4-wheel drive. All it takes is a touch of this button, and 4-wheel drive is electro-hydraulically activated, even when you're on the move. You don't have to clutch or stop the tractor like you do with White or Case. And Massey's standard differential lock means more positive traction and less wheel slip than the limited slip system on the Fords and Deeres. Now, when it comes to fuel efficiency, it's tough to beat the Perkins engine, recognized around the world for dependable efficiency. And our 58-gallon fuel capacity helps you make the most of your time in the field. On John Deere's 4050, you only get 46 gallons of fuel capacity. On the International Harvesters, only 50 gallons. On the Fords, you have to buy an auxiliary tank to equal our standard 58 gallons of capacity. But no matter how many options you buy on any competing tractor, you wouldn't be able to equal the standard quality and performance of Massey Ferguson's 3500 series tractors. That's why we say they're in a class by themselves. The differences between our 3500 series tractors and the competition become even more obvious when you compare hydraulics and 3-point hitch control. In terms of sheer lift capacity, the competition can't match the Masseys. All three 3500 series tractors have a lift capacity of more than 7,600 pounds at a point 24 inches behind the ball ends. Compare that power to 7,150 pounds in the Fords, 6,680 in the Allis-Chalmers, 6,600 in the Cases, 6,080 to 6,760 for the International Harvesters, only 6,120 in the Deeres, and a low 5,500 in the Whites. On the bottom line, you get from nearly 500 to more than 2,000 pounds of additional lifting power with any 3500 series tractor. When you put down hard-earned money for a tractor, you're buying power, pure and simple. And on the bottom line, no competing tractor gives you more 3-point power than Massey Ferguson. But having the power is one thing. Putting it to work, that's something else. That's where the convenience and precision of Massey Ferguson's exclusive electronic 3-point hitch control really pays off. Go ahead. Put yourself behind the controls and experience the tremendous advantages of our state-of-the-art electronics. You have precise position control and automatic draft control, or an intermix of the two to maintain your working depth while transferring the weight you need to increase efficiency. You set the controls, and the 3500s take care of everything else. Instead of using old-fashioned mechanical linkage like the competition to transmit draft and position control changes, the MF3500 sensors measure and transmit changes in draft load or hitch position electronically. Just to demonstrate how sensitive and accurate the electronic system is to draft changes, just set the controls in the draft mode. Then see how responsive the system is to the slightest pressure up or down. That means the system can adjust to changing soil conditions faster and more accurately than mechanical systems. And since we've greatly reduced the number of moving parts, we've also reduced the chances for friction loss, elasticity, and wear of components that can cause erratic hitch and implement operation in competing tractors. No other tractors in the 90 to 125 PTO horsepower range offer the advantages of electronic three-point hitch control, even as an option. With Massey, you simply dial in the exact position, instead of hunting for the right spot with that lever. When you come to the end of the field, you don't have to fool around with your draft or position settings. Just push the raise switch. When you've completed the turn, just push the switch to down. The hitch and implement will go back to their preset operating positions. With the competition, you have a single lever, and even with stops, you can't be sure you'll find the right position each time with mechanical linkage. Take a look at this. We'll set the implement right above this watch. Now raise. Now lower. Would you like to try that with your watch and a manual lever control? Which would you rather do, touch a button or pull and push levers? Dial in the exact setting or guess with a lever? For transport of mounted or semi-mounted implements, just switch the control selector to transport. It prevents the system from accidentally lowering along the way, which can happen if you happen to hit the wrong lever on another tractor. While most tractor manufacturers haven't thought of transport height control, Massey lets you dial in the exact amount of lift you require. Once set, that's the exact amount of lift you get each and every time you raise the three-point. You'll save time by not raising and lowering implements farther than necessary. And if you're working with mounted PTO-driven implements, this feature will protect drive lines from damage. Comparing 3500 series electronic control to the competition's mechanical systems is like comparing the future with the past. It's becoming easier and easier to see why Massey Ferguson's 3500 series tractors are in a class by themselves. Massey also provides more hydraulic flow for multiple function implements. The twin pump hydraulic system ensures that steering and three-point hitch demands never interfere with the hydraulic power available to the two-spool auxiliary valve. And for maximum hydraulic power, equip your 3500 series Massey with an optional third spool auxiliary valve. You'll get 15 gallons of auxiliary flow from the left pump and up to 14.5 gallons simultaneously from the right pump. That's a full 29.5 gallons of auxiliary flow, compared with only 22 in Alice Chalmers, 21 in Case, 27 in John Deere, 16 in Ford, from 18.6 to 25 in International Harvester, and only 21 in White. And while John Deere and International Harvester are making a big deal about switching to ISO couplers and tips, it's important to remember that Massey Ferguson has been offering this standard for years. Because we know you'll be spending some long hours behind the wheel of these tractors, we put the power to work comfortably. Our fully integrated factory-mounted cabs are designed to make your work easier all day long. That's because our design engineers start with one basic consideration: operator location. Massey's cab and operator seat are mounted forward of the rear axle, right where they belong for the best ride. With Massey, you're cradled between the axles, not spanked each time the tractor hits a bump. Many of the competitors' cabs are mounted farther back, right over the rear axle. You don't have to squeeze through any tiny opening like you do with John Deere. Avoid controls on the floor and dashboard like you do with Ford. Compared to the competition, the 3500 series cabs have wide steps and door openings with clear, unobstructed floors and all controls within easy reach, logically positioned around you. Our cabs are fully integrated and sealed, even around cables, linkages, and pedals, for a clean, quiet ride. Massey's one-piece windshield eliminates the need for a metal post on both sides. Notice all the glass, which provides maximum visibility to the front, the sides, and the rear, through more than 50 square feet of tinted glass. And with the cab set forward, you have more visibility out the lower front glass. When you look at the competition, you'll see the difference. Some models have large posts, two-piece windshields with even more posts, and bulky control consoles to obstruct your view. The curved glass on the IH, Ford, and especially the John Deere causes glare and reflections. The steering wheel doesn't telescope in the Ford, and some steering wheels seem to have a mind of their own. But notice how our tilting and telescoping steering wheel is adjustable for optimum comfort and control. When it comes to handling, the 3500 series tractors shine. In fact, in field evaluations, farmers like yourself were amazed at how easily these machines worked their way through the field. A great deal of the credit for the 3500 series superior handling is due to the new load-sensing hydrostatic steering system. It cuts down on wheel turning effort, reduces noise, and improves hydraulic response. Of course, the handling advantages become obvious when you compare these models against the competition. Our four-wheel drive front axle design eliminates the need for adjusting steering limit stops, avoids the rough, unstable ride of shorter wheelbase tractors, and maintains traction to help pull the tractor around a turn. With John Deere four-wheel drive, whenever you make a turn, the caster action front wheels tip out and you lose a lot of tread contact with the ground. Whenever you tip a tire on its side, you sacrifice traction and increase sidewall loads. With caster steering, you may also get wheel hop in dry conditions. Compare this with the sure positive traction in the 3500s, on the straight, or even in a hard turn. And look at the rugged construction of the Massey Ferguson front axle. It's designed to work in tough conditions because we know you'll be using it for tough jobs. The tie rods are protected behind the axle, not exposed out front like with International Harvester. And our four-wheel drive models even have tread settings for working 30-inch rows. Case's 75-inch minimum width won't fit 30-inch rows. Notice how our straight inline drive shaft eliminates universal joints and is shielded to prevent crop wrapping. Compare it to the competition's U-joints, offset drives, and unshielded shafts. Consider Massey Ferguson's four-wheel drive ground clearance, 18.5 inches, an inch more than Allis-Chalmers and Case, an inch and a half more than John Deere, and over 4 inches more than White. Compare the ease of adjusting the PAVT rear wheels on Massey's row crop models versus the time-consuming manual adjustment on John Deere, Case, and International Harvester. Like we say, these MF 3500 series tractors are in a class by themselves. And they're designed to stay that way year after year. Look at how we protect the front end of our 3500s. Compare that to the fiberglass nose and hood on the Case, the exposed nose on the Allis-Chalmers, and International harvester, and the lightweight sheet metal on the Fords. John Deere has the fuel tank up front. Imagine how that affects weight distribution as you use up fuel in the field. And it just isn't convenient to fill with a cap on top of the hood. And when it comes to designing in total serviceability, nobody works harder for you than Massey Ferguson. Just one simple latch on the front grille provides fast, easy access to the air filters, windshield washer bottle, air conditioning condenser, and radiator cores. Your oil dipstick, fill opening, and spin-on oil filters are located right here at the right side of the engine for fast one-stop checking. The fuel filters are handy here on the left side for fast, easy inspection and servicing. In the International harvesters, you have poor access to the belts and radiator. And you better watch out for that hot engine and side panels. And you'll have to climb up on the front axle to get to the air filter. With Allis-Chalmers, you have to take time to remove the fiberglass side panel before you can get to the air cleaner. And then what do you do with it? With a John Deere, you have tough access under the hood. To get to the air cleaner in the case, you have to tilt up the hood. But the bad news is checking the radiator level. You have to literally crawl up behind that hood. Massey's radiator caps are exposed to make things easy. Our transmission, final drives, center housing, and hydraulic systems all share a common reservoir and can be checked in seconds with this single dipstick. The two hydraulic spin-on oil filters are externally mounted for fast, simple replacement. And the Massey cab air filter cleans itself each time the cab door is closed to reduce the need for servicing, which is handled from outside the cab. John Deere's cab air filter is serviced from the inside. When you unscrew it, dust and dirt drop right on the seat below. And guess who's going to be sitting on that seat? You see, with Massey Ferguson, nothing has been left to chance. Every detail has been carefully designed to provide you with literally the best tractor you can buy in the 90 to 125 PTO horsepower range. From the power and dependability of our engine and transmission to the precision and convenience of electronic three-point control, to the supreme ease of handling, a quiet, comfortable cab, and simple, fast servicing procedures. Our 3500 series tractors are designed to provide you with the finest all-around tractor you can buy. Put yourself behind the wheel of a 3500 series tractor and test it yourself. No matter what brand of machine you bought in the past, you owe yourself a convincing ride in one of the 3500s from Massey Ferguson. Check out the MF 3505 at 90 PTO horsepower. Try the MF 3525 at a rugged 105 PTO horsepower. Or test the mighty 3545 at a hard-working 125 PTO horsepower. No matter which Massey Ferguson 3500 series tractor you choose, you'll be getting a machine that's literally in a class by itself.